When my children were little, I told them that I would always tell them the truth. I warned them that I would. If you ask me a question, I would say to them, I will give you an honest answer. And to them, they were little. This seemed only right and fair. So I went on. That means if you are not prepared for any possible answer, if you can't accept an answer that you don't really want, then you may not want to ask the question. This sounds so harsh as I say it now, and my intention wasn't to shut down conversation or stifle curiosity. I'm an educator. I want them to be curious. My intention was to invite open mindedness in discussion and show respect for their capacity to engage in the world as it is, not a sugar coated version of it. In December of 2006, when my daughter was 6 years old, she called me into her room shortly after I had tucked her in and turned out the light. Mommy? She said it like a question. Yes, hon. I have a question for you. Okay. Is Santa real? Remember what I said about questions? I asked. Are you prepared for whatever answer I give? She thought about it for a long moment and said, That's all right. You can go. And she went to sleep. A year later, I was summoned back to her room. Mommy, a statement this time. I'm ready for the answer. Is Santa real? Emma, I said, I am Santa. That's what I thought, she said. So is Daddy and Grandma and Grandpa and everyone else who loves and cares about you. Santa is not a fat guy in a red suit who lives at the North Pole. There are no magic reindeer, and no one comes down the chimney. Okay, she said, full of acceptance. Good night. I got about 10 steps down the hallway, and she shrieked, Mommy! And I ran back to her room. What, Emma? And the Easter Bunny? Yes, Emma. And the Tooth Fairy? Yes, Emma. Oh, no, she wailed. I learned a lesson from my daughter that night. Once you know something, you cannot unknow it, and the world will never be the same. The choice we have is how to proceed once we have opened ourselves to this new information and the understanding that comes with it. On the evening of the redefinition of her relationship with the mythical characters of her childhood, my daughter accepted my invitation to be a keeper of the magic for her younger friends. That same year, while watching a kids' TV show about Mount Rushmore, she asked, Mommy, where are the girls? I responded with great question, to which she pushed, So what's the answer? Later in life, when she was confronted by the atrocities of the Holocaust, the terrorizing of African Americans, and other human travesties, she expected and received as honest an answer as I could conjure. It was what I had promised and what she had come to expect. Now that she's a young adult, she still asks questions. They've gotten increasingly harder to answer and are the stuff of long conversations punctuated by tears and laughter. They expose the fragility of our lives and are the stuff of enduring bonds between us. I cannot take her back to a time when the Tooth Fairy was real, when all marriages were happy and never ended in divorce, when school shootings were only about having your photo taken and climate change meant summer vacation was coming. I can embrace that honest answers to thoughtful questions, as difficult as they may be to explore, lead us to deeper levels of empathy and invite us to make space in our psyches for authentically knowing each other. And this isn't just a precept for parenting. Certainly, the impact of knowledge acquisition is germane to education. In fact, isn't it our goal as educators to equip students with the tools and predilection for lifelong learning? Don't we want our students to engage in a worldview that evolves in response to the accumulation of knowledge and understanding? Every day, we guide students to engage in the complexities of the world, to question what they don't understand, and to gain enlightenment through inquiry and exploration. When I was teaching high school social studies and we tackled issues around events like the internment of Japanese Americans, students would frequently question, why am I just learning about this now? Why didn't anyone teach me about this when I was younger? and they were irritated by the circumstance, not just the historical event. They also found the answers that I gave, something about maturity and ability to grapple with the complexity of racial constructs and systemic discrimination, very unsatisfying. And they were right to be peeved. Maybe students are ready for the complexities of the human condition sooner than we, the adults who design curricula, realize. My daughter noticed that there are no women immortalized on Mount Rushmore when she was 6 years old. If she is observant of the condition, she deserves answers to her questions that help her become a contributor to progress. Think about it. To become Santa and the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny, she first had to acknowledge the truth of Santa. And aware that the world changes irrevocably with the acquisition of knowledge she chose when she was ready. The world is both scary and exhilarating, full of inordinate pain and coerced marginalization, at the same time that there is boundless joy and intense community. And once you know about any one of those things, you cannot unknow it. You are matriculated into the league of making the world a place designed with knowledge and intention to be better for all of us. You are Santa.